wanted to just visit a little bit today about how I got started in the whole Twitter community, I guess. I was a journalism major, and so when I started in our business, which is another family-owned business, I decided, you know, what can I do to make me enjoy my work a little bit more? And I realized I wasn't writing as much as I wanted to. So I started a blog called thefieldposition.com, where I where I blog a lot about things that I'm passionate about, which happens to be family, food, and agriculture. And so then, some of you probably know Nathan Wright. He's a former colleague of mine, and he said, you know, you really should be using Twitter to promote your blog. So that's what I started to do. And I knew that when I first got online with Twitter, that it would be a great way to kind of expand my horizons, right? Get involved with the community. And we've all learned that community can mean right where you live, work, and play, or it can mean clear across the world, right? I had no idea, however, that my most profound meetings through Twitter would be right in my own home county. And so it was back in July of 2010, and I'm, you know, catching up on Twitter as I'm walking across the county fairgrounds. I look down and I see a mugshot of none other than Deb Works Brown. And I walk into the Varied Industries building, and I happen to see her picture, and I look up to Deb Brown in the flesh. And that was my very first tweet up. But what a serendipitous moment that turned out to be, because over the course of the last couple of years, and it's hard to believe it's really only been 2 years, because it just seems like we've done so much together in that amount of time. But everyone who knows Deb knows that she's a connector, right? And I am a transplant into Franklin County, so I needed someone to help me get connected with others in the county. And so about 2 weeks after we met at the fair, Deb had connected me with a whole group of small business owners who then became vendors at an event that we do in Alexander at Latham Seeds. And then shortly thereafter, we worked on communities events, trying to bring tourism into Franklin County, working on anything as small as helping Girl Scouts earn their merit badges by teaching them about county heritage. And then last year, she comes to me with this idea, because I'd been tweeting from the combine. I like to say that my best day at work is a day out of the office, especially when it's like a fall like we had last year, right? So I found ample opportunity to find myself in the cab of combines. And Deb said, you know, what would be really cool is if we showcased agriculture in Franklin County. And so with the help of Jennifer Haley and Franklin County Farm Bureau and a lot of people who are active in that organization, we were able to put together an agenda and invite bloggers into Franklin County, which was really cool, and it was another way for Twitter to open up opportunities for us and form partnerships. So it was great to meet people who were there in Franklin County and blogging about the things that we have going on there. But again, another one of the chance meetings I guess I had through Twitter was with another Franklin County resident who was at the Bloggers Tour. And that's Larry Seiler, and you're going to be hearing from him a little bit later today. But it turns out Larry lives in Franklin County, and I hadn't even met him until the Bloggers Tour. And a couple weeks after the Bloggers Tour, I find myself grilling. Okay, well, I really wasn't grilling. Larry was doing all the grilling, so I better give credit where credit is due. But Larry, as a very active Franklin County pork producer, was grilling burgers for a fundraiser that I had coordinated for the 4-H County Endowment. And so here we find ourselves together, and then over the course of, I don't know, months after that, I find out that Larry's interested in blogging. So I'm like, oh, Larry's interested in blogging, and I have a blog. Perhaps this is a guest blog opportunity. So now I encourage all of you to tune in to thefieldposition.com tomorrow. Larry blogs faithfully every Tuesday from Musings of a Pig Farmer. And then, through guest blog opportunities, it's just been another way for me to get engaged or get involved with others from the whole Twitter community. So one of the things that I'm very passionate about and very somewhat opinionated about is this whole Department of Labor's proposed regulations and how they'll affect the family farm. And at the time that these were being proposed, there weren't a lot of people talking about it, and so I guess I felt compelled to start talking about it. And so I started looking at people that I was following on Twitter to kind of get an idea of what their viewpoints were, and those who were interested in continuing family farming, I reached out to them to see if they would guest blog or if I could quote them in my blog. And then I've also looked for guest blogging opportunities depending on what time of year it is. Like May Beef Month, for example. Last year in May, we had Amanda Radke was a guest blogger, Debbie Lyons Blythe. So even looking outside of my own customer base and my own community and my own county, my own state, but going across the lines here, reaching out there. And then some people may know Celeste Citrini. She makes farming fashionable and fun. And so she told us how to bake cupcakes that would be fashionable, because coconut's always fashionable, apparently. And I need help with fashion. That's all I've got to say. So Twitter's just been a really great way for me to, like I said, get introduced to other people, form partnerships, and really reach out. And when you think of it, at the end of the day, you know, that's really what social media should all be about, right? And I briefly had mentioned the cupcakes. Yeah, when I first decided I was going to introduce recipes on my ag site, I'll never forget one of the first phone calls I got. I get a dealer calling me, Shannon, I just went to your blog. I think I might be in the wrong spot because there's a recipe there. You know, what are you doing with recipes? But again, I believe that social media is all about connecting, and people connect through food. Whether you raise it yourself in your own garden, you grow thousands of acres of crops, or you live in the city, we all like to eat, and it's a common denominator. And the other thing I think that's great about food is it usually has a story behind it. So when people are sharing with me their favorite recipes, I love to hear their story. And so that's become another fun way for me to connect, learn about people, and it only happens on Friday. So I tell people, if you're not interested in knowing what I'm having for Sunday dinner, then simply don't read on Friday, because chances are I might post a recipe. So on our blog, Friday's recipe day, Tuesdays are, you know, musings of a pig farmer, and then this time of year, actually, the most well-read spot is our weekly crop reports. And so this year, we're putting a new twist on our weekly crop reports by following 7 of our regional sales managers. And so we put their face on there to make it a little bit more personable so they can share what's happening in their local areas with crop conditions there. Now, if I can just get those 7 to tweet. But we're halfway there, right? So we're working on it. But anyway, I guess it's just been a real opportunity for us as a company, too, to extend our brand. And the brand of Latham High-Tech Seeds is really supposed to be high energy, you know, high tech, personable, community-oriented. So the blog at the field position and Twitter and our Facebook are really just extensions of that brand. So thank you so much for the opportunity to share that with you here today.